Hey, what's up everybody? This is Elliot with Modern Music Studio. Today we're going to be walking through a couple different techniques that we can use to really maximize our at-home or in the studio guitar recordings. I'm going to be using two mics as well as one mic just to kind of walk you through a few different techniques that are really going to help you out. So before I hop into it, I want to go through a couple things about the actual guitar itself before we get into where you're going to be putting the mics, because it's a good idea to know why you're putting the mics there. So with an acoustic guitar, there's a kind of two elements that I want you to focus on. You have the body here and you have the fretboard here, and together they create kind of two different sounds that when put together they sound like a full guitar and sound really good. I'm going to start with the body. The body's kind of the low-endy side or the bassy side of the guitar. It's where you're getting the wood is moving and vibrating, and you're getting that kind of low-end sound and that oomph to your guitar. Over here to the left, your right, we have the fretboard. And the fretboard's going to be picking up, or the mic on your fretboard is going to be picking up more of that kind of metallic and high-end sound of the strings. So it's a good idea just to know the two differences, because when you're setting up to mic a guitar, you want to be able to capture the full sound of a guitar and not just have it sound too tinny over here or too bassy over here. You need both to get a good recording. Now you'll notice in front of me I have two mics, and I'm just going to hop into what these two are doing right now. This is called a stereo spaced pair. And what I'm doing here is I have one mic picking up the high end, my fret sound, and I have one mic picking up my body of the guitar, so that low end sound. It's a good idea to know a little bit about your mics before you start recording. This mic is just a little bit better for picking up low end, and this one happens to be a little better for picking up high end. If you don't have two different mics, don't worry, because we're going to be going through one mic as well and how to make one mic on a guitar sound really awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and play something, and I'm going to talk about why I have these mics where they are, and you can kind of put together why they sound like they do. Alright, so here's our next miking technique for an acoustic guitar. We have two mics, and we're doing what's called the XY stereo miking technique. What's happening here is you're using one mic, which is picking up, again, the high end and the fretboard, and you have one mic on top, which is picking the kind of low end of the body. They're kind of interchangeable. You can choose which one you want to be pointed where. But what's important here is that you have both mics in the exact same spot, but one's going to be, let me put my pick down. Say this is the face of my mic and the sound's coming in here. One mic is picking up from right here, and the other mic is on top picking up coming in this way. So you kind of make an X in a way, and you just place them in front of the guitar. I'd choose to do the 12th fret again because it's kind of splitting the guitar in half, and you're picking up the low end as well as the high end. Do make sure that your mics are not touching each other. You want them pretty dang close, but you don't want them to touch, mainly because the mics are going to, like, the sound from the guitar might vibrate the mics a little bit, and you might get some sounds that you don't really want in your recording. So again, this is the XY. Okay, so we have our last kind of stereo technique for miking an acoustic guitar. This one looks a lot like the mid or the XY, but it's actually a little bit different. This one's called the mid-side technique. And what's happening here is you have one mic pointed directly at the guitar, and then your other mic is actually pointed to the side. Hence why it's kind of mid-side, like middle side technique. I like to have this one pointed pretty much like right where the kind of body of the guitar ends, so to speak. So I think it's like the 14th, 15th fret. And then the mic on the bottom just kind of picking up around the side. It's a really interesting technique, and I think it sounds pretty awesome. So I'll give you a little bit of a demo really quick. So it's a little bit on the mid side. This one I do like to have a little bit farther away from the guitar. And the reason being is it kind of gives the body of the guitar, the sound coming off of it, a little more time to develop, so to speak, before it gets to the mic that's going sideways, because since it's not pointed directly at the guitar, it is picking it up a little bit differently than if you were going to be pointing the mic directly at the guitar. So now I'm going to go into two other techniques where we're just using one mic, because I know a lot of people aren't going to have access to two mics, so let's see how we can get the best sound out of one mic. Alright guys, so now we're going to go into just using one mic for miking an acoustic guitar, and there's kind of two ways I like to do this. The first way is I like having the mic on top of the guitar pointed down, and this is pointed down towards the sound hole. And what you're going to get here is kind of a more bassy sound versus the other way, which is you're going to have the mic pointed or kind of lower, pointed up at the guitar, where you're going to get a little bit more like power to the recording. So I'm going to play them both, or play a little something for each of them, and then kind of just go into how they sound different and why you'd want to use each one. Those are the two kind of ways that I would be miking a acoustic guitar with just one mic. You never want to put it directly in front of the sound hole, and you don't really want to put it like just in front of the guitar, so to speak. I generally like to be either below the guitar or above the guitar, because you're going to be picking up a little bit more stuff that way, and in all honesty, you're probably going to just have to experiment with a couple different placements just to see how it sounds for you and what you want. The other thing, which I know it sounds a little silly, but it's also super helpful to just kind of put your ear next to a guitar in different spots and kind of just see how it sounds. At the end of the day, a microphone is literally just an ear. It's the same thing that your eardrum does, where it just moves back and forth and it picks up the sound coming in. So if you try, say, putting your ear here, or here, or here, or wherever, you're going to get a pretty good idea of what that mic's going to sound like where you place it. So definitely try moving some mics around, try some different distances, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and we will make sure to answer it.